Hey guys, and we're recording. Welcome to this live recording. Today we're going to be looking at a quarantine leg workout. Probably one of the hardest workouts that you can do at home. Already missing the gym, but as I say, there's just a few bits of equipment you can use at home to make a leg workout really, really effective. Now you're probably thinking, I need some heavy weights just to try and make the legs grow, keep them strong. It's kind of true to a degree, but I say you'd be surprised what you can do with a few bits of furniture. So I've got a sofa here, got a footrest, couple of chairs, I've got some weights, and I've got a tricep extension barbell kind of set here. And if you've got little ones at home, you can use those as weights too, okay? So just pop them on your shoulders if you've got a couple of little children, or if you've got your significant other or a couple of pals, get them on your shoulders and you can be doing piggyback squats. You can be doing donkey calf raises, leaning onto a table, leaning onto a sofa, toes on the edge of a couple of books, or if you've got a step laying around within your house that's indoors, that still counts as quarantine. Okay, so without further ado, let's start with just a couple of exercises that you can do that are quite effective. Now, first off, we need to train the quads. They're one of the muscle groups that need more demand, more exposure to heavy loads or constant resistance or time under tension to keep those muscles strong. So what I'm going to do is the Bulgarian split squat. And for this, you can use your sofa, you can use your footrest or any kind of sturdy chair that's not going to fall over. All right, guys, so we don't want any injuries. Okay, so the first thing is, if I just come on over, I've got a couple of dumbbells here. You can use these if you feel the exercise isn't hard enough. So first of all, what you're going to do is you're going to come up onto the sofa with 1 foot behind and 1 foot forwards. Okay, try and get a nice stance, kind of shoulder width stance, nice straight trunk. And you come forward a little bit, so you're just on the toes of the back foot, kind of the top of the lower part of your foot. Okay, and then you're going to come down, lightly touch the floor with that knee, that lower knee, and then you're going to come back up. Now really try and focus on your balance here, guys. You're going to be driving off this front leg. Now, instead of coming up to rest, what you can do to make the exercise harder is just to pulse in that mid-range, so the muscle is never resting. And that's good. I love this exercise because it works quads. It works glute medius because you're having to work your balance and your control. And it works glute maximus quite hard as well in those lower depths as you're driving the leg back up. Now in terms of reps, guys, what's really important with these leg workouts is to go to failure. Okay? I can already still feel that starting to work my glutes, which is great. Now if that's not hard enough, grab some dumbbells. Now I've got roughly about 15, 16 kilo dumbbells here. Okay? So that'll probably be quite challenging actually. So in that position, you're going to come down. And what you can do also is have a dumbbell just in the opposite hand. So if I pop that down, and that will work, oh, there we go, that will work stability a lot more. So you're going to have to then focus this front leg, focus on your alignment to try and keep that stability. And that's pretty decent actually. So you can really feel that working. Quads and glute max. Good. So that's your first exercise then, guys. So that's the Bulgarian split squat. Why it's called Bulgarian, there's a bit of history behind that, but effectively it's a split squat, so a static lunge. You're not moving the legs, they're staying in the same position. You're not kind of driving forward and backwards. And you need to have the rear leg elevated on something. What this does is gives you greater depth, which works the quads harder and works glute maximus harder because your hip is becoming more flexed, which basically means your knee is coming closer to your chest, which allows you then to drive up and work quite hard with that. So next, we're going to work, talking about glute max, that large buttock muscle, we're going to work glute max. So for this, all you need is your sofa. Okay. And you're going to just back in, have your back supported on the sofa, so starting in this position. You're going to bend both knees. Now in terms of support, just your shoulder blades and upper spine should be on the sofa. Make sure your neck is relaxed. Feet are about shoulder width apart, and you're going to push up, tucking the bottom in at the very top of the exercise, squeezing the buttocks, and then slowly lowering down the hips, almost to the floor. So again, you can lightly brush the floor with the buttocks and come back up. That's really good. And what you should be doing is actively squeezing your buttocks, trying to lift your tailbone as high as you possibly can. Now, That's pretty good exercise. You can feel the contraction, but glute maximus is a huge muscle. So it's the largest muscle in your bottom. So to make it work harder, you can go on one leg. So as before, raise one leg and you're going to lift and then come down. Lift, squeeze and come down. Same on the other side. And with all of these exercises, try and work anywhere between 8 and 15 reps. The last 2 or 3 should be a struggle. If you're doing 15 reps, no problem, you're not doing the exercise hard enough. If you're struggling by 7 or 8, maybe too much effort, maybe too much resistance, or you can choose to do a few into that struggle range and then make the exercise harder. So maybe do 2 or 3 sets single leg, and then when you're completely burnt out and fatigued, another set or 2 on 2 legs. Now if that's too easy still, what you can do is do your 2-legged hip thrust, but with a weight on your lap. So take a dumbbell and just in hip. And fellas need to be careful here. As I say, could do yourself a bit of an injury. So you're going to just rest dumbbell on your lap. I find that digs in a little bit, so I'm just going to support this way around. That's better. That's nice and cold. And you're going to push up. And again, if that's still a bit easy, which it is, single leg. That's it. That's working hard now. And then again on the other side, and trying to keep alignment here is really, really important. So as you lift, the pelvis needs to be straight. Excellent. So that's exercise number 2, the hip thrust, and that's going to work gluteus maximus, the main buttock muscle. Now next, working down the legs, we've got in the back of the legs, the hamstrings. Now hamstrings, a couple of options here. I've got a pretty massive sofa here, so we could try Nordic hamstring curls, which I'll demonstrate now. Now for Nordic hamstring curls, what's really important is that your feet are tucked under somewhere sturdy. Now, I'm on my day off at the moment, there's no one around, so I'm going to have to depend on the sofa. If you've got someone at home, a significant other or friend, they can pin down the ankles for you. And what's important, I'm just going to demonstrate this. So you're going to start in this position. What's important is that you're not in this bent over position. So you're going to keep a nice straight back, almost tuck the bottom in. Your feet are hooked under a surface. And basically you're going to lower yourself down as low as you can and then drop when you can no longer control the movement. When you're at that stage, you're going to push back up, squeeze back up using your hamstrings and repeat the process. So hopefully I should be able to go down lower than that when I'm hooked underneath. And I'd say this sofa, I'm just going to have to lift. So it pins me down, that's it. And then we're going to come down, 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 and then that. Actually works pretty well. And coming up. Good, what's important is you keep that straight trunk, guys. So don't be inclined to bend forwards, you're just going to cheat. So I'm going to tuck in my buttocks, tuck in the abdomen, nice and straight. Hands are there, just so you don't fall flat on your face. You're going to come down, down, and push up, squeeze the back of the legs to get you up to the last phase of the movement. And again. Good. Really fun exercise. Mixes things up a bit. Now, if you cannot find anywhere sturdy enough to support your feet, and you live alone, and no one wants to come and see you because of the quarantine or the self-isolation, okay, then take a set of dumbbells, or actually I'll just show you with this tricep extension bar. What we're going to do now is a Romanian deadlift. Now, Romanian deadlift is like your normal deadlift, but instead you're going to keep the legs pretty much straight. You can have a slight bend in the knees, but you need to maintain this throughout the exercise. So with a normal deadlift, as you come down, what's really important is that you keep a straight back. So bottom out, head and chest up. You normally come down, allow the knees to bend a little bit, and then the knee bend is reduced on the way up. With the Romanian deadlift, as I say, things stay constant. So either lock completely or slightly soft knees. You're going to come down, In this position, try not to round the back. So what's really important, guys, if you're tight in the hamstrings, you might not be able to get down to the floor. So if that's the case, you're going to come down to the point where you feel your back wants to round, don't go any further, and then come back up. Okay, so let's just have a look with a front on view. We'll start with a side on view actually. So in this position, now obviously the chunkier your weights, the less low you're going to have to go to pick them up. If you're using dumbbells, you've got tight hamstrings, careful, so pick them up and never go back to the floor. So we'll make it an inverted commas, not true deadlift. So in this position, you're going to come there, let's say a little bit of softness in these just to get the weight up. You're going to come all the way up, squeeze, down, and then back. And what you're doing here, guys, is squeezing the bottom in to try and bring your hips and trunk straight. So squeezing the buttocks in, bottom goes out, eyes forward, back straight. Squeeze, down slow, and then coming up. You feel your back rounding, don't go so low, and come back up. So it doesn't have to be a true deadlift. And actually, with the deadlift, you are technically resting. With a not so true deadlift, you're not resting, so it's actually harder. As I get to there, squeezing the hips in, squeezing the bottom in, bottom out, and coming back up. So yeah, they have it. There's the Romanian deadlift from the front. We're in here. Exhale on the way up. Deep breath in. I like this exercise. And I like this exercise because it works the whole, what we call posterior chain, all those rear muscles. It works your buttocks, your hamstrings, your lower back. Careful with your lower back. So it should predominantly be felt in the buttocks and hamstrings, but a little bit in your lower back towards the end, just in your muscles, a sense of fatigue. Okay guys, so we've done quadriceps with Bulgarian split squats. We've done hip thrusts for buttocks, for glute maximus, and we've done Romanian deadlifts for your hamstrings. Now we need to go down the leg and look at calves. Now, in this run, I'm just like looking around. I don't have a step. I've got a step there, but my camera's a little bit dodgy and will probably fall over. It's kind of precariously balanced at the moment. So I'm going to show you in this run, but for all intents and purposes, if you can imagine I'm standing on the edge of a step, with my toes on the edge of the step. I've got a doorway with a step there, so you're going to be holding on for this one, and then you're going to be doing a normal calf raise. So the legs are completely locked straight, toes are on the edge of the step, and you're coming up and down. So move those weights. So you're going to come up and down. Now for many of you, that's going to be far too easy. You're going to be cracking out 40, 50, 100 reps. So we're going to make that single leg calf raise. I'm just going to grab a chair for some balance. So in this position, and you're going to come all the way up, slowly down. Now if you're on the step, what the step does is gives you more range of movement because your heel can drop below the step into that stretch phase, and you're going to come all the way up and all the way down. Try not to let the knee bend. So as you come up, it's on the tiptoes, it's down. Try not to be bending this knee to get the leg up. You'll just be using your thigh, which is what we've already worked. So you want to be feeling this down in your calf. Now to progress the exercises, you're going to go onto one leg, still too easy, one leg, and then a dumbbell in the same hand as you come up. Now if that's still too easy, you're going to do a dumbbell in the opposite hand to the leg that's coming up. Now this is going to test the balance a bit with this chair. But if you've got a door frame, or if you're doing these on a set of stairs at home, doing these on your banister. That's a really good test of stability actually, so that's good. Mixes things up a bit if you're used to training in a gym, if you're used to using a Smith's machine or a calf press. Okay guys, so there we have it. There's a few exercises that you can do at home. There's other muscle groups you can train, which we'll look at in the other few videos to come. But just to recap, we've done Bulgarian split squats on a sofa or on a chair for your quadriceps. And you can do your 3 to 5 sets or whatever you normally do in the gym. And then we're going to move on to the hip thrusts where our shoulder blades are rested on something sturdy, either side on a chair or on your sofa, and that's going to work your glute maximus. Then we're going to do Romanian deadlifts or Nordic hamstring curls. So Nordics, you're going to need somewhere for foot support to pin your feet down, or you're going to need someone to hold your ankles. Or if you don't have any of that, then use dumbbells or a barbell or bags of flour, whatever you got, guys. You can be creative. Water kegs, beer kegs even. Okay, so this is for your hamstring straight leg deadlift. And last but not least, the calf raise. Two-legged if you're quite weak in the calves, single leg if you're pretty strong, weight in the same hand if you're pretty tough, and then weight in the opposite hand if you really, really want to test those calves. All right, guys, so I hope that's been helpful. There's quarantine workout number 1, and that's for legs. And I say that's probably the most important one, where we need to be a bit creative to kind of get the legs challenged, to get them laboured throughout. And if you've got any other ideas, any exercise ideas, please comment and post below. And if you can like and subscribe if this has been helpful to you, and we'll catch up soon. Thanks then, and stay healthy.